What if I told you about the most successful hunter in the jungle wasn't the lion or the tiger, but a leopard? And not just any leopard. This is the story of a phantom, a master of stealth so brilliant, so cunning, that it evaded every trap, every hunter, and every camera for years. How does an animal become a legend? How does one leopard earn a name like Sabor and force humans to question their own intelligence? This isn't just a story about an animal. This is a story about strategy, patience, and outsmarting everyone. This is the story of the leopard that became a ghost. Our story begins in the dense, unforgiving jungles of the Indian wilderness. For years, farmers and villagers told stories. They spoke of a leopard, larger than any they had seen, with a coat that seemed to melt into the shadows and eyes that glowed with an almost unnatural intelligence. Livestock began to vanish, not with a struggle, but in utter silence. A goat would be there one moment and gone the next, without a sound, without a trace. The only evidence was a single set of tracks leading back into the impenetrable thicket. This wasn't the messy work of a hyena or a young cat. This was the work of a professional. They gave it a name. Some called it the ghost. Others called it Sabor. The name itself meant to flow like water or shadow. It was perfect. As the legend grew, so did the frustration. Hunters and wildlife officials were brought in. They were experts, confident they could track and capture this animal. They were wrong. They set traps, strong steel cages baited with fresh meat. Sabor would approach, circle, and then simply leave. He seemed to understand the mechanics, the danger. He would even defecate on the traps, a sign of utter contempt. They organized hunting parties with dogs. The dogs would pick up a scent, get excited, and lead the men on a frantic chase through the jungle, only to lose the trail completely at a riverbank or a rocky outcrop. It was as if the leopard had simply vanished into thin air. He used the environment like a strategist. He knew the high ground. He used the wind to mask his scent. He moved only at the perfect moment, under the cover of pitch darkness, or during a heavy downpour that washed away all signs of his passing. He wasn't just hiding, he was playing a game, and he was winning. So, what was his secret? How did Sabor become uncatchable? It starts with the leopard's natural design. He is the ultimate solitary predator. His brain is wired for patience and precision, not impulse. He could wait for hours, perfectly still, for the ideal moment to strike or to move. He had a vast mental map of his territory. He knew every path, every river, every place he could hide. He had multiple escape routes for every scenario. But most importantly, he learned. He adapted. Every failed human attempt to catch him taught him something new. He learned what a trap looked like. He learned what humans smelled like. He learned the sound of their vehicles. He wasn't just an animal, he was a student of his enemies, and he was the top of his class. The story of Sabor doesn't have a dramatic ending with a capture or a death. His power comes from his mystery. He simply faded back into the jungle. The sightings became rarer, the thefts less frequent. He had made his point. His legacy is a lesson in humility. It reminds us that intelligence isn't unique to humans. It exists in the wild, in the patience of a predator who understands its world better than we ever could. He wasn't a monster, he was a master. And now, I'll leave you with one question. If you were one of the hunters, how would you try to outsmart Sabor? Tell me in the comments below. And if this story of brilliant strategy amazed you, don't forget to share this video with someone who loves a clever underdog story. Subscribe to the Unscripted Show, hit the bell icon, and join us as we uncover more incredible tales of animal intelligence. The wild is full of geniuses, and we're here to tell their stories.